Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to create the SSH traffic security group and then web traffic security group. So let's go ahead and then define the AWS security group resource. Okay. So I can say AWS underscore security group and name is, I'm going to say it as VPC SSH. Okay. So or just SSH, whatever the local name we want to reference. Okay. So name is going to be VPC SSH and next is description, so which I will say dev VPC SSH, and now we are going to define the ingress and then egress rules. Okay, so I'll define the ingress here and I'll remove all these things, right? And we'll have something called description. So these things you can directly even copy paste, but I am going to write it. Okay, allow port 22 and next is from underscore port is going to be 22 and to port is also going to be 22 and protocol is going to be TCP, right? And finally the CIDR blocks. Okay, so the CIDR blocks is going to be from entire internet range. I'll have the access for this. Okay, 0.0/0. So this is the egress part. Okay, and we'll also have ingress part is completed. We'll also define the egress part. So I'll say EGRESS. Okay, allow all IPN ports outbound. Allow all IPN ports outbound. Okay, and from port 22 to port 22, all these will become 0. Okay, and protocols, all protocols, which is -1, and then this is the thing. So this is the VPC SSH. Okay, so now using the same, we can even define the AWS security group VPC web. Okay, so let me copy this here and then just make some changes and make it as VPC web. So resource type is AWS security group and local name is reference name or local name is VPC web and real name inside cloud is VPC web and also description is dev VPC web, and here the allow port is 80. Okay, 80 and then 80. And in addition to that, if you want to define one more ingress rule for this for port 443, so let's also define one more, even though we are not using SSL here. If you want to define, so let's define that one also. Okay, so ingress and let's define this as 443 and 443 and 443. One important thing here is when we are defining like this, there will not be any is equal to here. Okay, so let's remove them, and here also remove the is equal to. Okay, so that's about it. So let's go back here and then go to your security group and you can find these things. Okay, description from port to port protocol and then CIDR blocks, ingress and then egress with 00 and then protocol is -1 also for your this one. Okay, so in double quotes. So let's come here and put this. Any mistakes you have done, you can always cross check and then fix it. So that's all. So we have created the SSH security group and then web traffic security group. So now we need to reference these security groups and then associate it with our EC2 instance. Okay, so these are the two security groups we need to call and then associate them. When the EC2 instance is getting created, those security groups also need to be associated with this resource. Okay, so let's do that now. So if you go to the EC2 instance documentation here, so you will find something called VPC underscore security group IDs. Okay, if you are creating instances in a VPC, use VPC underscore security group IDs. Okay, so you can copy this setting or you can go here and you can add it here or here, anywhere is fine. Okay, so control space VPC where is this? Yeah, I will say control space and VPC underscore security underscore group underscore IDs. So inside this you can pass 2 security groups, whatever you have defined. Okay, so we can even add only one security group here and then add all rules inside this and then associate there. But for our learning purpose, I have defined 2 security groups, VPC SSH and then VPC web, so that what happens is how you are able to reference multiple security groups here also you are going to learn. So for that purpose I added I split the single rules, okay, 22, 80 and then 443 into 2 security groups for our learning. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to get the security group type, means like resource type is security group dot VPC hyphen SSH as the local name dot ID. So let me go here, and resource type is security group dot VPC hyphen SSH dot ID. So this is first one. In the same way, second one also VPC hyphen web dot ID, right? So that's what is the both security groups we have referenced here. So this completes the entire use case creation. Okay, so now how it is going to replace the default values, whatever is there, we are going to see in the Terraform plan. At the same time execute and then access the application and then see everything is working or not. The whole thing here is to implement just a variable, just I can show for AWS region and then we can move on to the next step. But the whole idea here is how you are going to write the Terraform code and in different combinations. Okay, when you are bringing up the code and then your code is keep on increasing, then you need to learn multiple things, right? So now what we have learned, so we have written the EC2 instance and then we have referenced the security groups here like this. All these things are very important. So that's the reason I'm trying to put everything in a use case approach so that we learn something more than just only a simple concept. Okay, so with that said, now let's go back here, right? So let's go back here and then start working on initialize, validate, format, all these things. Okay, so let's go back and go to 05 Terraform variables and 0501 Terraform input variables and v1. Inside that we have v01. So what is the folder name? v1 underscore cd v1 hyphen input variables basic. Here let's do the Terraform init, and the next thing is let's go ahead and then complete the other stuff here. So now Terraform init is done. So if you want, you can validate whatever you have written so far, validated, and if you want, you can even format the files and you can run the Terraform plan. So now during the plan it will get the variable values, means like whatever is present in the default value of variable it will bring and then replace here. Okay, so let's start with here. Okay, AWS instance, right, 0, only one instance because count is 1, okay, of 0. And if you come down here, right, so first thing is AMI ID got replaced. That is what is one variable for us, correct, right? EC2 underscore AMI ID. And next thing we need to see is count. Okay, so count is nothing but only it's not a AWS instances argument, it is just a meta argument to do the work for us. Okay, so how many instances it is going to create, let's see. Okay, only AWS EC2 instance, one instance only it is getting created. Okay, in addition to that it will create the VPC SSH and then VPC web. Okay, so let's go ahead and then add it. So one is EC2 instance and another one is another resource is VPC SSH security group and another one is VPC web security group. So total 3 it is going to add now. Okay, so now I'll say Terraform apply auto approve, and this should create a security groups for us and then associate them to the EC2 instance, and during the process it need to replace the variable values and then create everything for us. And once it is done, we should be able to see or access the application for us, right? So we should be able to access the application using this. So we can see now VPC web and then VPC SSH related security groups got created and EC2 instance VM of 0 also got created. So let's go here and go to EC2 and verify the same. Okay, so my EC2 VM got created, and if you see, this is the public IP of that EC2 VM. If I access that, we should get the sample page. Okay, welcome to Stack Simplify, AWS infra created using Terraform in US East 1 region. So everything worked as expected, and we are able to access it because it also associated with equivalent security groups also. So both VPC SSH and VPC web, both security groups with the 2280 and then 443 rules also created and then associated with the EC2 instance. And the AMI ID also, it will be the same whatever we have provided, 4892. It took from the variables. Okay, so whatever this from variables and then replaced it during the creation. Okay, so the default value whatever it is there. Okay, so this completes the input variables basic with a one big large use case implementation. So we can go ahead and then destroy and then whatever we have created, so that we can move on with the next use case. Okay, so I'll destroy this and then clean up the files, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Until then, bye bye. Thank you.